At 83, Paul McCartney, one of the most influential and celebrated musicians in history, has finally revealed the 10 artists he never skips when listening to music, offering a rare glimpse into the tastes and inspirations of a man whose career spans over 6 decades. McCartney, whose name is synonymous with the Beatles, Wings, and a staggering catalogue of solo work, has always been celebrated for his melodic genius, his ability to craft songs that resonate across generations, and his unending curiosity about music in all its forms. Yet even someone of his stature remains a passionate listener, someone who seeks out artistry and brilliance wherever it may appear. In recent interviews, he opened up about the musicians who continually inspire him, the artists whose records he always reaches for, and the names that have quietly shaped his approach to songwriting, performance, and musical experimentation. The list reflects a lifetime of listening, learning, and loving music, highlighting both the obvious legends one might expect and the unexpected gems that even a music icon keeps close to heart. At the top of his personal list is Bob Dylan, whose profound lyrics and fearless approach to songwriting have long captivated McCartney. He recalls being struck by Dylan's ability to tell stories that are both intimate and universal, admiring the poet's courage to experiment with style and subject matter while never compromising his voice. For Paul, Dylan represents artistic integrity, a musician willing to challenge norms and expectations without losing the core of who he is. McCartney admits that he often returns to Dylan's records not only for enjoyment but also for inspiration, finding in them a reminder that music is as much about expression as it is about entertainment. Another artist Paul can't skip is Stevie Wonder, whose mastery of rhythm, melody, and harmony has left an indelible mark on his own work. McCartney praises Wonder's ability to combine technical brilliance with emotional depth, creating songs that are irresistibly catchy yet profoundly moving. He remembers being blown away by Wonder's performances as a young musician and continues to marvel at the way every note, chord, and lyric feels meticulously crafted yet effortlessly natural. Wonder's music, Paul says, reminds him that joy and sophistication can coexist, that pop music can be both accessible and artistically ambitious, a lesson that has guided McCartney throughout his own career. Paul also cites Jimi Hendrix, a musician whose guitar work reshaped the possibilities of rock music. While McCartney is known primarily as a bassist and songwriter, he often emphasizes that Hendrix's fearless approach to the electric guitar, his experimentation with feedback, tone, and phrasing, expanded the boundaries of what he believed was possible in popular music. He reflects on the first time he heard Hendrix play live, describing it as a transformative experience that altered his understanding of performance, improvisation, and the sheer emotional power an instrument can wield. Hendrix's legacy, Paul insists, remains vital, a constant reminder that true artistry involves risk, innovation, and unfiltered self-expression. Aretha Franklin is another artist McCartney cannot skip, and he speaks warmly of her voice, presence, and the effortless authority she brings to every performance. He marvels at Franklin's ability to convey emotion with every note, every breath, every pause, creating songs that are both intimate and universal. McCartney confesses that listening to Aretha is like a masterclass in phrasing, timing, and storytelling through song, and that her influence subtly permeates even his most upbeat, melodic compositions. Similarly, Paul is drawn to the music of Ray Charles, whose blend of soul, jazz, and gospel continues to inspire him. He describes Charles as a musician who combines technical mastery with profound feeling, whose voice carries both power and vulnerability in equal measure. For McCartney, Charles exemplifies the idea that music should reach the heart before it reaches the mind, a principle he has carried into decades of songwriting and performance. Another name on Paul's list is Leonard Cohen, whose poetry-infused songs have always resonated with him. He admires Cohen's ability to craft lyrics that are both deeply personal and universally relatable, songs that unfold like stories yet linger like philosophical reflections. McCartney notes that Cohen's work teaches the importance of patience in songwriting, of letting ideas breathe and evolve until they achieve their full emotional impact. Cohen's music, he says, is one he returns to repeatedly, finding in it a calm wisdom that balances the intensity of his own creative endeavors. Paul also mentions Carole King, the legendary singer-songwriter whose albums, particularly Tapestry, he describes as timeless and flawless in composition. He praises King's ability to write from the heart, crafting melodies and harmonies that feel both natural and inspired. For McCartney, King exemplifies the power of honesty in songwriting, showing that simplicity and directness can resonate more profoundly than complexity alone. Another essential artist in his listening rotation is Chuck Berry, whose pioneering guitar riffs and storytelling lyrics laid the foundation for rock and roll. McCartney speaks of Barry as a hero whose influence is woven throughout his early work with the Beatles, particularly in the energy and drive of their early recordings. Barry's music, Paul recalls, instilled in him a sense of possibility, of how rhythm, melody, and narrative could converge to create songs that endure across decades. Moving to contemporary inspiration, Paul cites Elton John, a fellow British musician whose songwriting and performance continue to captivate him. He praises Elton's command of the piano, his melodic inventiveness, and his ability to connect with audiences both emotionally and viscerally. McCartney reflects on how Elton's career demonstrates longevity and adaptability, lessons he finds invaluable in his own sustained musical journey. Finally, Paul mentions Nina Simone, whose fusion of jazz, blues, and soul has always fascinated him. He admires Simone's fearless artistic vision, the way she imbues every song with political, emotional, and cultural weight, creating performances that resonate far beyond mere entertainment. McCartney notes that Simone's music challenges him to consider the emotional and social power of song, reinforcing his belief that music can, and should, move hearts and minds simultaneously. Looking back over his extraordinary career, Paul emphasizes that these 10 musicians, Dylan, Stevie Wonder, Hendrix, Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, Leonard Cohen, Carole King, Chuck Berry, Elton John, and Nina Simone, represent not just personal favorites, but guiding lights in his creative life. He stresses that even after more than 60 years of making music, he is still learning from them, still listening attentively, and still finding inspiration in their work. McCartney reflects that part of being a lifelong musician is maintaining an open ear, never assuming one knows everything, and always seeking out the brilliance in others' artistry. He admits that listening to these artists is both a source of joy and a reminder of the standards he sets for himself, a continual challenge to create music that is meaningful, enduring, and emotionally honest. Each artist, he notes, offers something unique, be it lyrical mastery, technical innovation, or the raw power of performance, and in returning to their music, McCartney finds reassurance, guidance, and companionship. Even now, at 83, he describes moments of sitting down with headphones, listening to records that shaped his life, and feeling the same excitement, awe, and emotional connection he felt as a teenager discovering music for the first time. McCartney's reflections reveal not only his enduring love for music but also his humility as an artist, acknowledging the genius of others while continuing to create, perform, and innovate himself. He emphasizes that no matter how many hits he has written, no matter the accolades or global fame, the act of listening, really listening, to other musicians remains central to his artistry, a practice that keeps him grounded, inspired, and deeply connected to the vast continuum of music. In sharing the 10 musicians he never skips, Paul McCartney gives fans a rare window into his personal soundtrack, offering insight into the voices, instruments, and songs that continue to inform his creativity. It is a testament to a lifetime devoted not only to making music but to appreciating it in all its forms, celebrating brilliance wherever it is found. For McCartney, the act of listening is a daily ritual, a way to honor the artistry of others, and a reminder that the world of music is boundless, rich, and endlessly inspiring. And as he continues to write, perform, and record, these 10 musicians remain his touchstone, his companions in a lifelong journey that began in Liverpool, traveled through global stages, and continues to evolve even now. They remind him of the power of melody, harmony, emotion, and expression, qualities that he has carried into every note, every song, and every performance over the decades. Ultimately, Paul McCartney's list is more than a collection of favorite musicians, it is a declaration of respect, admiration, and the enduring magic of music itself, a magic that continues to inspire one of the greatest living songwriters of our time.